Go ahead and jump off, Janet.
Okay, real quick. First off, it was my first Sundance. Everything about it was amazing. Everything. But I think what's just so incredible is that this was about how all of us can be better in our business. And you know what the entire curriculum was all about? How we become better people. So it was completely focused on us and how we take the next steps and how we can become better leaders. And as a result of that, we're going to affect more people, create a better business. And it's just astounding that it was all about personal growth, but at the same time, it was about our business. So they're really walking their talk.
I love that, Janet. And what's cool is, Janet, you spent so many years in the personal development industry. It was cool to watch you enjoy and light up about the tool that we have, because you've been doing this. You have over 10,000 hours of practice of working with people in development. And I was cool watching you see the value as you're at your first event. So awesome stuff. Yes, I love the shares this morning. All right. See, everyone's kind of popping in. We're a few minutes after. We're going to kick off here. But first, I know we're all waking up. If you're on the East Coast, you're kind of in the future, so you're ahead of us. But us West Coasters, who's got your coffee? And if you're in Portland, I know you probably got good coffee. Yes, a lot of nods, a lot of waking up. We're going to kick off here today. So welcome, you guys. This is our community, Saturday mornings. This is where we train, get better at changing lives. And I want to welcome all of the new coaches. We've had so many new coaches this last little bit, and so many people really growing their business. And actually, I'm going to give a quick preface. If you're new, or just for a reminder for everyone, go ahead and get your chat box open, because you guys, we're all doing the same thing here. If you have tips or things that are really helping you, we want to hear in the chat. And actually, just to even get that started, if these last few months, because this is our third Coffee and Consistency series, if you've seen a change in your coaching, if you've seen growth in your business, or if you've been having your best months, drop me one in the chat right now, because I know there should be a lot of ones in there, because I've been seeing it. So moreover, congrats on that. This is week 2 of Coffee and Consistency. And what we do here, because we have so many new coaches, and if you're a new coach, welcome. We want to welcome you to this group. If you're one of the new executive directors, congrats on being consistent. We train in series, and we don't train randomly. We show you the simple things that are going to be easy that anyone can do to change lives, grow your business, change your life, because we're about all optimal well-being. So we'll be going week by week. I'm going to cover that all in here in a little bit. This is actually our 3rd series that we've done. And each time that we've done it, transformation is predictable, just like the program that we help people with. People have been growing. So we're going to get all to that here in a second. But I just want to welcome you to November and congratulate you guys on an incredible October. And I just think what was awesome is October was our best month yet, which really proves that we're not a diet. So for all of you new people, I don't know if you guys know this, I started this program thinking I was just losing some weight. I didn't realize that first bar that I had was going to change my entire life. I know a lot of you guys feel the same way, and that's what we're doing for people. But this training here is for people that want to grow. This is, grow themselves, grow people, but overall, become the best health coach possible. Because if you're good at coaching, your business will grow. And like we'll get into and through this series, it doesn't always take more to grow. And if you do it well, honestly, I'm looking at Denise and Dawn on the screen right here. I'm looking at Janet, looking at Norma. When you get better at coaching, you can actually do more, and it actually gets simpler over time when you're doing this and you spend time honing your craft. So this is for people that want to be great coaches, that want to help people, that want to grow. If you're in that growing phase, you give yourself 8 to 12 hours a week of on-purpose connection time, you will see your business grow. And I'm really excited for that to happen for all of you guys, because you guys are seeing it show up in your business. We'll have tons of trainers. For me, or for today, Dawn and I will do a lot of training. We have a few people sharing. But through this whole series, anyone that trains runs over 10,000 in frontline volume, which means they're really good at helping people. It means they're making a good income doing this, minimum $3,000 to $4,000 on the low side. But moreover, it means they've gotten really good at creating transformation, connections, and integrating clients. And we're going to show you how to do the same thing, because what I love about this, just to give you guys a little history, I'm breaking it down a little further than normal, is when we got started, it was just a bunch of people just talking to people, and we had no idea what we were doing. We were just trying to help people. Denise, you were like, yeah, I remember those times. Dawn, you were like, we were just trying to help people. Now we have it even laid out, and we train like this so everyone can do this no matter what your background is, and you can find your voice. But it's all the same things. Everyone that you hear does all the same things. So for this series, these 5 weeks, through the month of November, because last week was our first week. We talked about setting some structure, and we'll get back in that today to do a recap. But if you're a new senior coach, or, you know, kind of in that associate director, like you got your first 8 to 12 clients going on, your goal would be to move to executive director over this next month or in the month coming. If you are one of our new executive directors that have come on, by the way, congratulations. You know how awesome that is. Like, Don, we had a joke with someone, Bernadine hit executive director. We were like, that's kind of a nod to, you're a great coach. You can't be executive director without being a great coach. Your goal would be to grow another 1 to 3 solid points, moving up towards 8,000 and 10,000 in frontline volume, growing and consistently helping people, continuing to move forward. Just like our health, you never stop when you hit your goal weight. You keep moving forward, building habits, getting better, learning different areas of your health. And if you are one of the new $10,000 frontline volume runners and above, or national, global, your goal is to learn this so well that you can simply teach it to other people so they can come in and have these same victories as well. So we're always learning and growing. And I love that, like Susan jumped off and shared, Denise, Janet, global and presidential directors still here Saturday mornings learning and growing, because we all still do the same basics every single day. So that's the deal. Last week we talked all about setting up your structure. And for those of you, like, you know, so I'm a very structured person. My wife is the free-flowing, amazing girl that she is. Actually, she really loves structure too. But, you know, not everyone always jives with structure. And some people might ask, well, why do we spend a whole call on structure if we're talking about changing lives? The key is if you don't have structure, you're not going to change lives. Every person touching the most lives has their own good structure set. We're going to have a few people share on that today. This week is all about celebrations. We have some cool ones to do. Understanding and making quality connections. We're going to focus on a lot of that this season, especially during the holidays, where we have so much time to make connections and plant seeds in people and inspire them to be more. Next week, we'll talk about setting up quality shares, how to start clients off well. Mid-month, we'll be on week 4, coaching with excellence, staying consistent and bringing and dripping coaching. And then week 5, we'll be finishing up the month strong, as well as on the last week, the first week of December, for all of you, those that are working on or already qualified, we have a leadership summit in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm going to just break that down real quick. We just have such great leadership in the company that we all band together, and we're putting on basically a free event for people that want to learn and grow at that just above executive director level, because that's the pivot point when people really lock in. Plus, just being around great people. Try not to talk too much, because I'm verbally vomiting on all you guys today, kind of what we talk about not doing. But I remember going to my first, it was Take Shape for Life event back then, and I remember walking in the room and feeling the difference in the room. And we had actually wanted to, and had been searching for quality people in our life and hadn't really found them. And that immediately being around people that were hungry to change lives, better their own lives, that were quality people. Anyways, that's going to be what's going on at that event, and we're going to have some hands-on stuff like learning financial health. Wes is going to be speaking to us. I know a lot of you guys work with Wes Holt for financial advising. So hands-on how to work your business and just next level stuff for you guys to learn and grow around the people that are making the biggest changes. So that's what we got going on. And then I forgot to say, for welcoming all the brand new coaches, if you're here today, welcome. Get a feel for this group. This is our community. We meet every single Saturday morning to learn and grow together. But if you're just getting started, focus on those first few clients and getting your hands dirty with helping your first few people. Don, anything that I'm not covering or I maybe missed today?
I don't think you're missing anything, Brad. I'm just excited. Thanks for laying it out clearly so people kind of know what to expect over the next 4 weeks, because it's exciting. We're going to be covering a lot. So make sure you're taking lots of notes. And, the great thing is these are all recorded. You can go back and listen to them again. So
I love it. All right, can you help me keep up with the chat too? Because the chat's blowing up. I don't want to miss anything. So again, also if we go through this, ask questions. We're all learning and growing. A lot of us have never coached before, so the more you learn, the faster you help people. So this was last week's action steps, just for all of you guys. And if you didn't get them all done, it's a great thing to do this week. But filling out your map for senior coaches and above, having your hundreds list, we're going to cover a little bit of that today, getting that all set up. Having a 3-3-3 calendar, if you're a new coach, we're going to cover that. It's basically a checklist on how to just make sure you're being intentional. Some of you are intentional without needing to worry about having that. But that really helps you make sure that you're making connections, building your brand, and basically bringing value to people's lives daily. It's a really good checklist to like kind of a pulse check to see, am I doing those things? Am I bringing value? Am I making connections? Fresh health assessments, because that's what we do to help awaken people and track their health. If you don't have them printed out, you can't use them. So you don't want to be like, oh man, I want to talk to someone about health, but I don't have any. So have them printed out and ready to go. And then schedule. The schedule is so key, because what you'll hear from everyone that trains on this is they have a really good schedule set up, and none of it happens by accident. And I'm actually going to be open with you guys, because we're all learning from each other. We've had so many people excel past the 10,000 frontline volume mark, new executive directors, and it's because you guys have got this down, and you guys have been putting time in and making connections and staying consistent. Some people, I was on a few calls with you this month. They were like, last month wasn't my best month. I feel a little bit wobbly. And you know what? We traced it back to they were just out of structure. And we all get that way. So that's why we come back to these basics. And then lastly, leading with your health, because our health journey is never done. And, us being focused and moving our health daily one step at a time, not perfect, but moving forward, helps us want to share this and be that example with other people. So that was last week's action step. Don, again, anything I'm missing here? You're my backup. Coffee hasn't fully kicked in yet today.
No, I love it. Brad, you're not missing anything. And just literally we're going over the basics, and you guys might think, hey, why do they keep reiterating this? We've heard it a few times. It's because keeping it simple and going back to the basics that is what the pros are doing. I mean, that is what those who are being consistent and successful are doing. They're keeping it very simple, going back to the basics.
Yeah, and one thing that was on here as well was a structural tension. I just got to give props to Nicole and Mike last week, who just really nailed it. That just the example of clear vision. Because the other thing about having a structure is it's nothing without a clear vision of where you want to go in your next step in your business, and also just what you're revolving your life around. And I just have to give props to Mike and Nicole, and thank you guys for coming on and sharing just clear example of how consistent. Like, it's actually what's cool is both of them have very important full-time jobs that they actually don't really want to leave, and to be able to do so much with their structure set up really shows you that, because we all say, oh, I don't know if I have time, but I actually remember that being Nicole's example. Was like, she's really busy. She even got married this year, and now she's a mom. Like, just keeping those pieces in there that help you move forward. And Nicole, props to you, and actually props to Mike too. Now you guys are further along than you ever thought, and you're having more fun because you keep it simple and you got these basics set up. So that's why we spend so much time on it, because we want you guys to have this for yourself too. So let's jump in today. We've got this whole plan on this whole month, and it just encourage you guys to be consistent. Consistency is the key. That's the key in everything you do in life that you see success in. There's no overnight success. So we've had this slide, this is always one we come back to, is people think that success is like a straight line. You see people, you think their life's amazing. We all know the social media, Instagram, layout that people how many pictures they took to put that on there. Success really takes work, and we're learning and growing. That's what in the middle there is what success really looks like. But if we train here and everyone learns these things, success actually looks like what happens on the far right there. It actually gets a little bit less squiggly ones. I just see everyone nodding, because you're like, yep, I know. I learned most of my stuff through learning these things, and it didn't look perfect, but I just kept staying consistent, and it worked out really well. And then we also have this Don, I've been talking way too long. Will you want to explain this slide? Because this slide means so much. It's kind of been our cornerstone of this training.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that. So this slide literally depicts what's possible with consistency over time, and really fully embracing the fact that there aren't any overnight successes. It's practice over time. So wherever you're at, whether you're just getting started or, you've been coaching for a while, too often, especially in other areas of life, you see people give up too soon. They just don't stick with the process long enough to see the rewards. And I know that that's not what we do in this community. We rally around each other, but we really do see this as a process so just stick with it, stay consistent, and there are rewards. And so, we all want to be the top guy, not the bottom guy who's so close to breakthrough and then walking away, because it takes growth. And so, Brad and I were talking earlier this morning, it's not always going to feel easy, but because we're learning, right? You're always learning, you're always growing. And so when you've got that tension, sometimes it can be uncomfortable, but that's usually right when there's about to be a huge breakthrough. So just to keep this kind of front and center in our minds that we're doing this for a reason. And the awesome thing is with what we do, when there's a breakthrough, people's lives are dramatically and drastically changed. So it's worth it.
It absolutely is. So I love this. And what's kind of cool about this, I just want to congratulate you guys on being consistent and being here, because that's the people that grow in their coaching. But all these things that we're talking about, they apply to us as we're growing our business. But really, I want you guys to think about things in two forms as we continue to go through. So I forgot to really bring this up in the last few coffee and consistency trainings. is the same principles apply to helping our clients with working through that. You know, nothing comes easy and there's twists and turns. So stay that course with people and encourage them to be consistent. We live in a world of instant gratification. That's why everyone's trying to do everything and is doing nothing. So these things apply to what we're doing with our clients. So just remember that learning for yourself and the learning to posture we want to take with our clients to help them break through. Quick congrats. I'm going to try to go through this really quickly so we can get to the stuff, but we always kick off the month with celebrating. So there's too many people to name everyone, but want to congratulate all of our big thinkers, people running over 10,000 frontline volume and above. Again, that just means that they are helping a lot of people, and there's no shortcuts in this. You have to do the work, and the people that are doing this are actually coaching people really well. And that's the whole point, because if you don't coach people well, they won't order the next month. So, you know, that's part of the value of this. The people that are moving forward this and building their competencies and moving up there, they're coaching people really well. Lots of new rank advancements. Congratulations to everyone. We have new nationals, regionals, executive directors, and just everyone just moving along the path. Like what we talked about, 1 to 2 points a month, building on success. So congratulations. And congratulations to everyone. I know many people had their best month because you can't always reach a new rank. You know, there's only so many smiley faces. And for those that are new, you get smiley faces for every rank you hit. Your income goes up for every amount of people you help. It's all based on helping people. So congrats to every one of you guys that are learning to stay consistent on there. Also want to congratulate, let me see, I got to mute someone real quick. Let's see here. Don, I should have had you manage it. I can't find it. There's so many people on here. Hold on. There we go. Got it.
Sorry.
They get it. There we go. We're good. All right, cool. Oops, I want to go back here. So congrats to Carlene and Mike Willanen, new Pursuit Global Directors. So, you know, we'll go over this in a second, but this is something that's really cool. You know, Susan and Denise and Janet were speaking to the quality of our company and the leadership. So beyond just a rank, we have an actual group of people that subscribe to be leaders at a quality, intentional levels and uphold the standards of this business. I mean, that's why we've been around for so long. You know, we're going on 15 years, but because we have quality people leading by example. So I just want to congratulate them on this. They not only hit the qualifications, but are getting accepted. So big mark. Just with one choice, you know, Carlene not only lost 100 pounds, but has helped hundreds of lives change. So I know a lot of people have changed. Like personally, had a lot of conversations with this week with people just because of that one decision. So congratulations to Carlene and Mike. Really excited for you guys. All right, let's jump into it. All right, you guys, back to basics, consistency here. And I threw this in here. I wasn't going to spend as much time on it, but it is really important to understand these, and mostly because I'm getting lots of questions about it. So everything starts with the basics. You know, I'm a big fan of football, so it's like day one, this is a football. You know, here you go. I used to play fantasy football, but Doug, for those that know Doug Wood, you know, great guy. We always used to joke that we used to play fantasy football, but, you know, we don't do that anymore because we're focusing on playing the game of changing lives. So anyways, that's our fantasy, and it's actually more reality. Anyways, that's not the point. The point is that I'm going off on tangents and I need to stop doing that. The point is that we make income in 2 different ways. There's only 2 things that we do to keep this simple, is we bring on and support clients, and we bring on and support health coaches. Those are the 2 ways we transform lives. And if you focus on people, you take it one step at a time. You know, a lot of people are like, okay, what should I be doing in my business? The answer is you should be doing whatever you want to be doing. That's always what we encourage. But if you're looking for like a quick pulse layout and you're just like, oh, what are the people that nominally do? It'd be focused on bringing on 5 clients a month and 1 coach a month. And that's not just a metric, go do that sales thing. It's if you're doing the do, you'll find people that are looking for us, that match. That, by the way, I just love it. Janet's taking pictures of every slide, and I just love new global director is just never done learning. I'm sorry, I had to I'm loving it today. But just remembering that if you just focus on 5 people a month or more, whatever matches your goals, work with your support team and focus on the people in front of you. There's basically a coach in every 5 clients. And for all of you analytical people like me, don't overlook at that. It's not like you just get that. You earn that by focusing on what they need in life. Like, is there a financial need? Do they need community like Ashley and I did? Are they looking for purpose? Like Bernadine knew a health coach. You know, she's like, I don't have the PTA to support into anymore. I'm looking for an outlet to change lives, to make a difference. Make those matches. Follow the steps that we do. There are coaches in every single one. And if you're looking for that, you will see that. And we'll cover a lot of that through the sequence of this series. Points. A lot of people have been like, what are the points? I think Sunny, I love Sunny so much. She's not only transformed her life, but she's like, She's almost 10,000 in frontline volume. She's like, I don't even understand what points are. So here they are. Sonny, this is for you and everyone because we always need to remind us. Again, going back to, we do two things. We change lives with their health, with people's health, and we change lives with bringing on coaches and helping them pay for it. And not just signing up coaches, bringing them on and getting them a start. So every point, you get 1 point for every 1,200 in frontline volume, which again, building blocks of your business. You get 1 point for every senior coach line of business you bring on. So bringing on someone, partnering with them, helping them get a good start. So these are metrics that basically mean you're making a difference in your business and making a difference in people's lives. The frontline volume ones, that's about 4 clients, 4 people getting healthy. For one every coach, that's helping someone take their first steps in their business, and that's 5 lives getting healthy. So at the very least. So these are building blocks. So for every one of these, you're building. So when we say build 1 to 3 points a month, we mean focus on people and take the next steps in your business. That's what we mean. Understanding compensation. Not even going to try to break that down, but a lot of people have asked questions. I encourage you guys to know this. We get paid really well. And I, again, really was excited about all the people like, why am I getting paid so much? Like, because you're focusing on people, and that's what happens. So we get paid 3 different ways. And I'm just going to break down some basics here. And if this intrigues you, I would encourage you to write this down in your notes to have this be something you figure out more about this month. It's all in your back office, but go to your support team. That's the best place to go first. Frontline clients, you make 15% on all of your clients' orders that you're supporting and coaching on their health journey. As you help more people, it goes up percentages. Just remember that it starts at 15, going up all the way to 31% at executive director. So everyone good on that? They can remember those easy numbers. Supporting coaches, you make a percentage on them for helping them get a good start. You earn income when you help people. Just that's what I love about this. By the way, just again, for all the new people here, when I learned these things that you don't get paid unless you make a difference, that's when I really, like, this blew up for me. When I was like, that made a difference. Because if you know my history, they kept trying to make me go into sales, and I'm like definitely afraid of sales. So just so you guys know all that. And what's cool about this is supporting coaches, you're creating a ripple effect of lives changing. Like, Don, because we met with you, and I know this is crazy, but we met with you at 11 p.m. after your night shift because you were saying, I want to change lives. You had a need for this. So many lives have changed, and we make a pretty good income on your business. So we're building a legacy, one person, one coach at a time. And then lastly, bonuses for competencies in your business. We'll get into all of that later, but those are all different things that that we make compensation on. So I'm going to slow down to explain this all real quick, because this is really where the rubber meets the road for all of you guys. Because so many people have been like, well, we get lost because we don't know our next steps. Same way that our clients will get lost if they don't know their next step, their small next win of their health, wherever that may be. So if you're a new coach, your first goal is senior coach or manager. The ranks go up like that. Focusing on your first 7 to 8 clients, not getting people on program, helping people join in and finding out what they want in their health and inviting them to this lifestyle change. Kicking off, I love it because, if you do that, your first month's like $700, $800. It's awesome. That's the first step you want to make in your business. So if you're brand new, that's where you're going to go link arms with your coach. Do it together, and please don't go do it by yourself, because I just want to give you all the things that help you with actually, Don, if you want to help in here, so I'm not just talking the whole time. People that go do it by themselves, it doesn't work. Partner with you. We have a community of people begging to work together, which I think is so cool coming from the corporate world. Don, you want to say anything about that real quick?
Well, yeah. And coming from the world of medicine and healthcare, this is so different probably than especially if you're a newer coach and you're new into this community. Sometimes you can be like, oh, I don't know if I should reach out. I know they're busy or whatever. No, get rid of that old thought process. We love hearing from you. Your mentorship team wants to work with you. So always reach out. And if you're sitting on here and you at any time have any questions, just make a note, write it down on your piece of paper. Okay, that's something I want to reach out and ask about. I want to learn more. We're continually learning. We are, as well as we expect all of us to just continually learn and never be hesitant to reach out, ask questions. But it is really simple once you, just hear it a few times. So Brad, I'm really glad you're breaking this down, because I don't know about anyone else on here, but I mean, it took me a couple years to really fully understand this. And it was okay. Brad had the most amazing amount of patience with me. So you know what? Don't worry about it if you've got questions.
I also had Ashley, who's the one that figured out a few things for you along the way. So anyways, it's a team effort here. So senior coach. There's ranks in between, but for everyone here that's hungry to learn and grow, your next goal, if you're not there yet, is executive director. And you can do that speaking of points, there's a few different ways. The 2 ways we help people. It takes 5 points to be executive director. You can do it all clients. You can do it with clients and coaches. So like you can do it all clients, like 17 to 18 clients, just to hit that bare minimum rank. You can do it with 14 or 15 clients and helping one person get a good start, again, because there's probably 1 or 2 coaches in this amount of clients right here. Or you can do it with, over here on the side here, 3 and 2. Actually, you can do it with all coaches, but usually got to leave people's health. It starts with people's health, rolling into paying it forward. So 10 or 11 clients. Either way, that's the building blocks of your first step. So for you guys growing, that's your next step. Then going forward, growing clients, we recommend going even higher. If you keep hearing us talk about the 10,000 mark, because it's not a rank in the back office, but if you're running higher frontline volume, whatever works for you, there's kind of different, like some people are working full time, whatever, there's different levels of that. But get that frontline volume up there. Don't be doing bare minimum. Don't make any reason why to look at your clients as an order and not as a person changing their health. So that's why we encourage that. Plus the income goes up quite a bit in that respect. And then that's also where coaches are going to come from. So moving FIBC means fully integrated business coach. It means you're supporting clients and you have at least 5 or more lines of senior coaches growing and growing their business. Which, just for income purposes there, so you guys can get an idea, it's about $4,000 to $7,000 a month. And then growing global director means all those coaches you brought on, helping them go executive director. So congrats to all of our new global directors that have hit global recently and national directors. That means 5 executive director legs or more, continuing that high frontline volume. And the average income for global directors just on our team alone is between $10,000 and $40,000. So, it pays to help people get healthy. And that doesn't happen overnight, but you are building something strong. So anyways, for this training right here, helping people get the basics, focus on either going executive director, because that's your next step, or breaking down the steps of executive director. Because so many people get lost. Like, what's FIBC? What am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to help someone go, what am I doing here? If you've hit executive director recently, if you're one of those people, your next step is to bump up that frontline volume a little bit. Don't give yourself any reason to look at your clients as anything more than someone getting healthy and partnering with them. Bump up that income a little bit. Bring on your first few coaches and help them move forward. Like the average person at this, if that's your next step, and congrats, because a lot of people hit that mark in the last couple of months. That's the average income is like $3,000 to $5,000 a month. And again, this all should lie in that like 8 to 15 hours a week work. So it's not too shabby for the work we do to get changed. Did you want to say some of that?
Yeah, Brad, can I jump in just for a second? I want to just also remind people that it's all building blocks. It all just kind of builds on each other over time. But what I realized, and that you and Ashley helped me realize pretty early on, because I was working as a full-time nurse, I was making great money. But when I saw the fact that I could change 18 people's lives or be a part of changing 18 people's lives, and that would be an income that would drastically affect our family and change our everyday life, like that, the executive director level is what allowed us to, start bringing my husband home and allowed us to be more present with our little baby girl. And that I'll never forget. It's literally, I think it was you or Ashley said, you know what, you can reach executive director in 2 to 3 months or even sooner from the time you make the decision to do it. And for me, that was huge. Just making that decision and then seeing that, literally what you guys said and have said all along is very true. If you make the decision, you create the connections, that is very possible in a really short amount of time. And then it builds from there.
Yep, exactly. So congrats to everyone who made that leap, because there's a lot of you. It's not a rank in the back office. That's what I was talking about earlier, but a lot of you hit that and you're seeing your income go up and you know how fun it is, because if you're doing these steps, it continues to grow like that. So I love it. If you're already at what I just said, and many of you are, your next step is to bump up to like 10,000 frontline volume or somewhere in that range or more. We had more people running over 13,000 frontline volume last month than we've ever had before. So congrats to all of you. There's too many to name. But the next thing would be helping those people move forward. Basically getting your frontline volume up to 10, maybe going a little bit wider, having your 3rd or 4th coach come on. Just taking your 5 and 1 step of your business one at a time. That's how you do it. There's no secret to parts of people. Here, hold on, I got to mute. There we go. That's pretty much everything. So is that helpful for you guys? Because I've been getting these questions over and over again. I want you guys to know this, because back to what we talked about last week with structural tension, if you're very clear on your next steps and where you want to go, and you focus on people, and you know how it's going to affect you, and you got your structure set up, that's all you got to do. And so I just have been blown away by the people making those wins. So congrats to all of you. And if wherever you're at on the spectrum, just focus on taking your next step. It shouldn't take you. And here's the secret. I really want to show you guys this, because a lot of people think growing means more time. And sometimes it does. I mean, it's a little bit different business, but it shouldn't take you much more time to do more. So congratulations, people. Denise is shaking her head. She's like, nope, I'm working about the same as I was when I was a, regional director. And you're changing a lot more lives now. It's a lot better than having your nurse practitioner set up, right? Right, Denise? Yeah, exactly. So anyways, that's the stuff. If you're not exactly a number person, we're moving on to the fun stuff right now. But that stuff, don't ignore that stuff. That makes the difference in changing lives, and that's how it all works together. So recapping, setting up structure. We're just going to do a quick recap because we went by it. If you didn't get all this stuff set up from what we talked about last week, jump in this week. So Don, I'm going to kind of turn over to you to talk about when we kind of started off with this slide. And I love this slide because it really gives us an example of just what, because we're going to get to basically the bulk of this call when we finish up this training is going to be about making connections. And I love this slide because it really displays what a little bit of effort and the word consistency means over time, because it means lives changing. I'm sorry, I'm just continuing to talk because I'm just constantly blown away by what this all means. And it's been so cool to see how many lives have changed from you guys, from staying consistent, people reaching out. Like Billy, you had someone reach out this week that has been watching you for so long. Because you've been staying consistent, they reached out in their health. Anyways, just stuff like that happening all the time. So Don, did you want to say this? Go ahead and kind of go over some of those basics today.
Yeah, absolutely, Brad. And I love, again, going back to the basics, I really, really, really love this slide, especially this time of year, because it shows how starting with something just consistent and daily, like look at August, there's 4 little blue dots there. I think I can count. Yeah, there's 4 little blue dots there. Look what that builds to over time, because we don't live in a vacuum, and we pour out, we show up in people's lives. And then just by doing the consistency, there isn't an overnight success. We had a slide where there were tons and tons of, celebrating people who have reached different levels, but that's not overnight. It's building upon it. It's creating the consistency. It's creating those relationships daily, and just following up and showing up in those areas that really matters. So starting off in August, September, October, and now November, you're going to see this grow, especially as we head into December, January, and February, just by the consistent small things that you're doing well every day in the little time blocks. So Brad, that's what we're really going to talk about next, is how do you see something like this happen, this growth, this consistency over time? Because I think sometimes we can think, oh my gosh, it seems and feels like, and it may look like from the outside, that people are overnight having this happen, and that isn't the case. It's gradual, and it's consistent, and it's just showing up every day in the small 15 to 30 minute pockets of time to do the work, to create those relationships that really pays off in people's lives being changed.
Exactly. Just kind of like, another example, like Mike last week shared his story. How do you lose 145 pounds? By keeping it simple and easy and being conscious of your health every single day.
One decision at a time.
One decision at a time. I love it. We talked about schedule, and I want to hit on this as a recap because I had so many questions about this week. And, the people that I'm going to share a little bit later have this down pat, and some people that were a little bit wobbly. And again, no judgment. There is no judgment. By the way, if you guys haven't caught this yet, it's a safe place. We're all learning. You can't, yes, just like your health, you don't just get it. You have to work at it daily. My dad always says it's like the laundry. It's never done. But this is my schedule, and I really would like you guys to take some. Actually, Don, I'm not even going to break down my schedule. I want you to break this down because it's the same thing. This is my actual schedule, but you got to work your schedule to work for you. But they have the same pockets. So will you hit on that real quick and get you some place that will help people so much? And because a few people were like, oh man, I'm kind of running out of people to talk to. They didn't have a follow-up time. They weren't even making solid connections every single day. They weren't touching their business every day. And it's funny how that kind of comes up. So shoring up some of those things makes all the difference. So will you kind of break down some of the ideas of all this?
Yeah, absolutely, Brad. And I love that you share your schedule because, guys, this is an example of what a real schedule looks like. Of course, there's life stuff that Brad has in his schedule that is over this, but, kind of like interlaid in here. But this is your intentional, on purpose Optavia time. And this is really where it can fit in your schedule. So there's just a few things. Number one, you can see that Brad touches his business every single day. It's not blocked out for 5 or 6 hours every single day, but you'll see that it's 15 to 30 minutes of intentional connection time. You'll notice that there isn't anything on Sunday. That's because Brad unplugs on Sunday. That's a family day for him. So remember to have your rocks in your schedule, your family time, your intentional time, because that is the core of what we do in this community, in this mission, is we put, what matters to us first, and we build our lives around it. And the schedule is the fundamental building block of that. And so bottom line is, have one. Okay. And if you don't worry, go get one or get it out on your phone and just practice, dive in, but put some intentional time in every single day. The people that change the most lives, they touch their business every single day. And it does not have to be for hours and hours on end, but put those 15 to 30 minute blocks of connection time in. And you'll see the busy moms, they're doing it when they're waiting for their kids to get out of school. They're doing it, here and there and in between, right? I'm just loving the chat. Very, very true. Just put the time in small sections. And then there's some trainings to put in there, because, training and always learning, that's, showing up to hone our craft. Monday nights, we've got our Health Coach Mondays. That's with Dr. A and the top field leaders. Put that in your schedule, make it a rock. If you need to listen to it, have it set up in your kitchen as you're cooking dinner. That's great. You know what? Beautiful thing is we can work this into our lives the way it works, the way it works for us. Have a set check-in day. That's when you do your client support. Depending on how many clients you actually are supporting. I love that, Brad supports a lot of clients, you guys. He runs high frontline volume, and he does it in 2 to 3 hours a week. He's got it scheduled in. His clients expect him to call. And then also, I know he's got a backup day because life happens. So always have a set day and then a backup day. And then on Wednesdays, we have some just rocks in the schedules for us as coaches. And that is the Habits of Health call. And that's not just for our clients, you guys, that's for us. I tune into that as often as I can. Like every week it's in my schedule and I'm on. I catch the recording if for some reason I'm signing up a client right then, or, because always priorities. I make myself available to help the people, but have it in your schedule, maybe even set reminders. And so Mondays are your Health Coach Mondays, where you're going to learn from Dr. A, just 30 minutes of your time, have a check-in day, a backup day, then the Habits of Health call, and then always have a follow-up, right? Follow-up is so key, and you can see here that Brad's got follow-up scheduled in every Friday, follow-up Friday, just so that you don't let anyone fall through the cracks, that you remember each week to kind of tie up those loose ends. And honestly, it takes 6 to 8 to sometimes more than that, follow-ups, gentle touches, showing up in someone's life for it to really open up the opportunity to move it to the conversation on the phone. And then have the coffee and consistency scheduled in. That's every Saturday for the rest of November. But really, that's it. So this is just a snapshot of what Brad's actual schedule looks like. And I think this is pretty awesome to be able to do what gives you purpose and passion in this amount of time per week. Boom.
Well, and there's a little bit more time that goes into it, but these are the rocks in my schedule. And I just love the chat of all the people that are doing this and helping the most people. They're like, yep, this is so true, or this is helpful. And I just want to point out one last thing to this, is just knowing your schedule so you don't have to think about it. Automatic stuff. That's actually came from my wife. My wife taught me to be more systemized on this stuff. I also know that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are like my prime evenings for like connecting with people. So I meet some, by the way, yes, Sundays, I take Sundays to Sabbath and to be focused on family. Last Sunday, met someone at breakfast. Ashley and I were sitting next to him, never done sharing health. Got their information because we started a conversation with them. But I know, like, if someone's like, oh, hey, can we chat? I know what I'm gonna do. Hey, if it's Sunday, hey, I'm available tomorrow. Monday, you available? I've got these in my schedule, so I don't need to. I got one real quick. There we go. So that's that. Don, you broke that down beautifully. So I would encourage you guys to make sure, if you don't have it yet, put those rocks in your schedule. This is the 3, 3, and 3 document we talked about. A lot of you guys that are newer, this is just basically a way to like track purposeful connections. And there's actually a video by Dan Valentine on that. That's gonna be one of the action steps this week, is watch that. He explains it way better. And I just love Dan Valentine. He's so awesome. But anyways, I'm not gonna break it down. He's awesome. Watch that video, but it basically says about making 3 posts, authentic posts, branding yourself, helping people see you, adding friends, making connections, and starting conversations. Watch that video. It's fantastic. It's a way to basically just be connecting people. people are out there looking for what we have all the time. And if you're out there bringing value to people and following that, that works. Actually, you know, Bernie, I'm bragging on Bernie because we just celebrated hitting AD yesterday. She's like, yeah, I see that document. I'm going to work on it, but I'm already doing all of those things. I'm like, great. If you ever want to know a pulse check, just use this thing to help keep you on point with what you're already doing, because what you're doing is what's working. Keep doing that. This is our hundreds list. Have that printed out. I have mine always to the right, or in this case, I ordered on my desk, to the left of my computer. That way, when people come to your mind, you can do that. Or if you want to reach out to someone, you can reach out to them. Or it's a brain dump place. Don't try to keep it all in your head. Putting people down on paper, there's actually a mechanism of when you write things down, it actually makes a stronger connection inside of your brain. So write those things down. And this also has like little things like to remember on, like, are we friends on Facebook? You know what? I'm not friends on Facebook with the person that I met on Sunday at brunch. I should go request them on Facebook. Just helps you be in a relationship with a lot of people. Watch the video. That'll be an action step. Dan breaks it down a million times better than I can even do it. And then lastly, your map for your senior coaches and above. We broke this down last week. This is Nicole's example of her map, but it literally helps you reset and focus on that. So if you haven't done yours yet, do it and connect with your support team. We're showing you the things that all the same people do. Like Nicole, like, I love it. Like, grab Denise and I to connect. She's like never done being hungry and learning and growing. She's always a different place in her business. So we're just showing you what the people do that are successful with this. By the way, Donna, who was my first appointment this month? Oh, it was you, 7 a.m. You're never done learning and growing. Like, you're like, if I don't grab that time, I'm not going to do it. So with the brainstorming, to continue focusing and moving forward, learning and growing, and getting teamed up so that we can help change lives. So that's the structure recap. That's everything. And so what we're going to finish up today's call with, and I hope you guys have been finding value. I've been loving the chat and the different insight pieces in here, is I just want to slow down to like really hit this point home. Everything, you guys, is about connections. Everything. Everything. There is no shortcuts in this business. Making connections with people is what changes lives. And some people are either sitting around hungry, waiting for this, like Denise. You had been in a wheelchair for years and you were ready to make a decision. You ran into Rod, who had changed his health. When sometimes people are so reserved from the fact that they can even change their life, they're maybe like my aunt, who literally out loud had said, I give up on my health, which is sad, knowing how thriving in life she is right now. Making connections and investing in people is the best thing you can do. So if you can practice that, it's not about sales for all you new people. Like, just to clarify that, the people that have been doing this for a while, you don't even have to worry. Like, you're like, why are we even talking about sales? We know this isn't sales. But if you're focused on making connections and doing these things, it works like a flywheel to always have endless amounts of people coming. Like, Don, you've been coaching for close to 7 years. You running out of people to talk to?
Nope, sure not running out of people to talk to.
No, we're not. So if you follow these things and focus on people, that's what makes the difference. And plus, just from health benefits on us, connecting with people creates these chemicals in our brain that make us feel happier and feel better. Denise, you might break that down for us someday on the medical side. But for today, we want to keep it short and wrap up here on a timely manner. So I wanted to bring on a few people today, and Don's going to recap some just solid things to be like, okay, I want to make connections. How do we do this? Because I don't know about you, but I don't have like endless amounts of pockets of time in my day. So we have to be intentional on these things. So I could have brought on 1 million people here tonight, not literally 1 million, but a ton of you. But I wanted to bring on some people that have been doing this not that long and have been just doing the same steps, and to have just share a little bit about how they fell into this. And the first person I wanted to bring on was Jen. Jen, are you with us this morning?
Hello.
What's up, Jen? I haven't asked you like specifically what you do, but you've shared a little bit about what you do. Your volume speaks for itself, and you actually jumped in and shared on a few weeks calls ago, just to be like what you're doing, how you're focusing on people. You've come on pretty quickly, and not that it's about speed in any of this, because it's about consistency. You've helped a lot of people pretty quickly. I know this has transformed your health quite a bit. Would you just share just some of the things that you were able to lock down to help you be really good at doing this? Because you have 4 kids and you have a busy schedule and you're a teacher. So how do you fit this in your schedule? Like, what are some of the things that you've done that have been really helpful for you to change lives around you?
Sure. I think for me, I've been pretty intentional about certain things that I do every day. It's same with our health journey. It's about putting the habits into our health. So I know that I watch a video almost every day on my way to work. I don't actually watch it. I put it on in my garage and then I listen to it. And so I'm getting all of that just amazing information into my brain. And I'm doing that because I want to learn from, the best. And so, I have simple systems on my phone. I literally will go on there and I'll watch like a video a day on my commute to work. And so by doing that, I'm growing into me. So I'm basically getting all of that great information, thinking about relationships, because that's what this entire business is about relationships. So the more I can learn, the more I can put, up here, the better I can be at relationships, the better I can be at connecting with my clients, the better I can be just as a person, connecting with teachers at my school, connecting with people in line at Starbucks, wherever I am, just being relational. Another thing I'm really intentional about is Facebook. I watched Dan Valentine's video early on, and I pretty much made the decision that are you still there?
Yeah, we're all there. You're good.
Okay, my screen just did something really weird, so I was like,
I wanted people to see you as you share all this great stuff. So
okay. So basically, I was really intentional with Facebook. After watching Dan Valentine's video, I kind of had to get out of my own way because I think in many ways, I really cared about what people thought all the time of me, and I just kind of had to get away from my shyness, I guess you could say. And I just kind of made a decision, you know what? I'm going to just friend request people. And these might be people that I don't even I'm not great with names. And so I tend to I probably know them, but I don't know if I totally know them because I'm just not great with names. And so if we have 50 mutual friends in common, I send them a friend request because I'm like, why not? And most of the people, one other thing I do is once they accept me as a friend, then it sends me a messenger in my messenger saying we're now connected. And I always reach out to them and I'm like, hey, I'm so glad that we're Facebook friends now. And usually they send me back messages, oh, me too, Occasionally I'll have somebody say, how do we know each other? And I just say, I'm not really sure how we know each other, but we've got tons of mutual friends in common. And I'm so glad that we're friends now and I can follow you on Facebook and we can be friends. And they're usually like, awesome, that's great. And so I guess I say that because I think people sometimes have a problem with, well, I can't friend them because I don't totally know them. And I just had to kind of get out of my own way on that. And the other thing is that the last thing that I'll say is I'm really intentional about really trying to be available to people. Because I think if you're going to build relationships with people, it's about being available to them. And I had a lady reach out to me yesterday, and I've actually done a health assessment call with her weeks and weeks and weeks ago. And she reached out and said, hey, can we get together for coffee? Now, I could have absolutely been like, I'm too busy. My husband's away this weekend. I've got kids. I can't fit it in my schedule. But instead, I made the decision, well, yeah, of course. I want to be available to this person because it's about building relationships. And so hopefully that helps.
Oh, Brad, you're muted. We can't have that.
See, that's why you always get people get your back. Jen, that was so good. Great tangible tips. You can see that you just follow the steps, but you are focused on people. I love your example of everything you shared there. It just oozes out of you, of your focus. And you have a pretty amazing health journey and you live it out loud. So, that's kind of what we want to get to today. We do have a lot of great social media help because that's a great way to make tons of connections. But I also love that Jen was talking about making connections with people out and about in real life. So love it, Jen. We're going to bring on another person. So Lori and Dave, are you there? Another great example. Actually, we had the honor of Lori and Dave actually came out and spent some time with Ashley and I and my parents and I and really got their systems dialed in. And honestly, what's kind of cool is you guys actually haven't even really tapped social media as much as we even encourage it. You're just kind of scraping the surface. You really are focused on the basic connections using the same tools that we talk about here. Will you guys share a little bit about how you guys have been able to affect so many lives with your story and your story of transformation? Are you guys there? You gotta mute yourself. We'll see. Let's see if I can find him real quick. If not, we'll jump over to Allison.
Okay.
Hi, everybody.
There we go. Go for it, you guys.
Hey,
It's good to see you this
there we
morning.
go. Hi. Hey, first of all, everyone out there watching right now is awesome. And some of you are going, why am I awesome? Well, because you've chosen to change your life. You've chosen health and strength. And so that needs to get deep inside of all of us. I think every one of us need to, I mean, I was like dying, and now I'm just full of life and health and energy. So I think there's two things that stand out to me. I want Lori to share in just a minute. She said I need to go first. So two things are being totally sold on our program. I mean, you have to love what we do. And you have to believe in it. So many times, we just forget about how good it is. And we just need to, we got to get out of the rut. And when our program works, and we just need to believe in it 100%. Second thing is, be aware of your surroundings. I mean, half of the people in the world need our program. Mm-hmm. I mean, everywhere I go, I'm just like amazed. We don't even use the internet. And we're getting a lot of people coming in, and I'm just amazed at just how many people are hurting, how many people are broken, how many people want to get healed. They're just afraid to say anything. And we're consistently just aware of our surroundings, and it's kind of like just listening to the moment when you feel like this is the time to kind of step in. And I think the key to that is this. You can't be threatening. If we're threatening, we just lost them. I think the key is we have to be caring and loving. They have to feel our heart. They have to feel that we believe in it, that it's changed us. And just caring and lovingly show them a way that they can get healthy. And that's all we've done, and people just keep coming on. It's exciting.
I agree with that. For me, it's this program has changed my life so much, and you can't help but be excited and want to share it with people. So I use every opportunity just to drop little hints to people to open up conversations. That's basically how we do it. I get teary-eyed every time I think of it, but I had so much inflammation in my hands, I couldn't open water bottles anymore. And I'm not that old. And so whenever I'll open a water bottle, if I'm with somebody anywhere, I'll just say, man, it feels really good to be able to open my own water bottles again with this new stuff, just anything to make conversations with people. If we're going out to eat with somebody, he's lost 40 pounds. I'll say, boy, you sure slip into that booth a lot better since you lost 40 pounds, just bring it into your life because it's changed our life. You can't help but be excited and share it. And so that's how we're making our connections, just being excited about how it's changed our life and just opening up those conversations with people, how it's affected us, going up and down the stairs with people. Man, this sure is a lot better since my knees don't hurt. Just opening up little things like that open up the conversation because we're excited about what it's done for us and really want to see it to change other people, to help them.
And, just one last thing. You need to see yourself as a life changer. We're changing lives here. We're fixing people's problems. And that's how you need to see yourself. Don't see yourself as somebody who wants to sell a program to somebody. You're assisting people live a brand new lifestyle. And you are a life changer. Get that into your head, get it into your heart, and just believe, hey, you're awesome. God's called you to do awesome things. Go for it.
Wow,
help people.
That was so powerful. I'm glad you shared that. I mean, I want to break it down, but I want to be able to finish up on a good time here today. Just so powerful what you shared there. You guys use your systems, you guys are organized, and you focus on people. It's no wonder why you've reached so many people. Congratulations. Thanks for the good thoughts today. All right, we're going to do one more right before we finish up here. Al, will you bring on, you actually trained on this last time, and you did such a great job of just sharing, like, how do we make connections with people? How do you live out loud? So, and even bringing it to the phone when people are reaching out to you, when your consistency pays off. So just drop us some knowledge here as we wrap up the call today.
Yeah. Hey, y'all. Well, it's hard to go after Dave and Lori. Wow. And I just want to say that so much of what we do truly is about inspiration And I don't have a story like Dave and Lori. I mean, I don't have that type of story in my own personal health journey. And maybe you do, or maybe you don't. But if you're not pulling in inspiration, then make it. Find that inspiration from somewhere, because it's really hard to grow when you're not inspired, right? Can we all agree on that? So some ways that I really try to build my fire and inspiration are from my own health, from my clients, from my children who are right here. Of course, he takes right now to talk to me. Yeah, give me just a minute. I'll be right there. And then also from our reading. Sorry, guys. But also bringing inspiration and drawing it from your reading or from your personal development. And the two things that I really focus on strongly with my business regarding connections are, number one, clock in, you guys. You can do the 3 and 3. You can do your map, your structure. You can do all of that. You can write out your schedule. But if y'all don't clock in, it's all for nothing. So clock in and show up for yourself, right? I'm working on that with my kids too. I clock in for my kids, because if I don't write it into my schedule, it's hard to remember because the day gets scattered. So I show up and I clock in. And the second thing, it wouldn't be a Saturday morning without me saying, don't be weird. So what I mean by that, you guys, is that if you're living your life intentionally, and just like what Dave said, and really reaching out from your heart, it's not weird. You're reaching out in a way from your heart because you know that it can change someone's life. And so stop and think before you message someone, or before you get on a phone call with someone. What's your intention? How do you want the phone call to go? And if you're trying to sell a program, it's not the right place. So think about your intention and move forward. And some ways to not, this wasn't always easy for me, the not being weird part, because I kind of am weird in a lot of ways, but that's another side story. But when you reach out to someone, it doesn't have to be about anything. Just like what we were talking about earlier, you can easily say, hey, how are you? I'm so happy we're connected on Facebook. I love being connected with inspiring people, or whatever is true and real for them. And the truth is, I know I've said it 5 million times, people meet their spouses on the internet, y'all. You can build a real relationship from nothing just by saying hello. And do that and let me know, report back. Let me know how it goes. Sorry about all this crazy.
No, Allison, you do not have to be sorry about that crazy. That's amazing. And I actually love that you get to be home with those kiddos, because that was your why when you got started. And you changed your health through this process. You thought you were already on top of your health, and you've also learned some things in that. You changed a lot of lives. So don't be sorry about that, because you shared some good stuff on there. So as we wrap up today, Dom, just kind of leave it with this. I think we covered connections really well. And I think through the examples you guys have seen, like why we covered the structure pieces. We're going to get into next week. We'll be more in depth on bringing it to the phone, setting up those times, not being weird, like Allison was talking about, how to really use the health assessment as a conversation piece to find out a little bit more. Like, I'll just say it in short. Spend time with people on the front end. I had a great call yesterday with this amazing couple, and they opened up by just taking a little extra time to hear about what they want in their health. If you skip those things, you're not building a connection with them, and they're not really making a decision to make a lifestyle change. Spend the time on the front end. We're going to show you how to do that next week. And it's kind of cool. Like Suzanne, you had an executive director a couple months ago. That was actually your shift, was learning how to use the health assessment and really connect with people on top of these things. So as we wrap up this week, we've gone over the structure pieces. Let me share my screen as we just hit on the last steps here. Oh, reminder this week. Some of you guys, this is where you guys are really at in your business. Doug Wood and some of the other leaders will be doing a sponsoring training on Tuesday and Wednesday this week. So if you're at the place in your coaching where you're like, I have a lot of clients, I want to learn how to be really good at finding those matches and layering and inviting and exploring coaching, that's the place to be this week. We'll cover a little bit on that during the series later on, because that's one of the things, one of the ways we change lives. But I would highly recommend that from a competency standpoint, and just putting some more tools in your basket to show up and serve other people. Leadership Summit, that's where we're going at the end of this month. So if you're all wanting to do that, I'm not going to talk anymore because I want to finish up on time, because we're already like a couple minutes over. leadership summit, that's where you want to be. Just in short, surround yourself with people that want to learn and grow and are doing what you want to be doing. You know, if you have things going on, that's all good, but I've never missed an event. Brian Derollinger, one of our support team, said I go to every event I qualify for because there's not a million of them, and every single event has made a pivotal change in my business and my ability to help other people. So invest in yourself, especially since they're making the event $25 and we're covering all the facilitation fees. Just get there and have fun with us. So as we wrap up today, here's the action steps, because we're giving you the tools, but we also want to provide the structure. So if you're like, how do I work a month? So right now, confirm you have your structure set up. Make sure you've got that. You're not going to accomplish anything. You won't help anyone without any of that set up. It'll all be a thought and a wish. Practice your connections this week. Use your connection list. Try practice downloading those things. I bet you there's people that need to be thought of or need to reach out or need to be on that list. Practice utilizing it. It's not anyway, I'm not going to go into it. Yeah, you utilize that. And if you haven't, use your map and connect with your coach. That's what every pro does that's on there. What's cool is everyone that shared does that every single month because they don't go do it by themselves. There's always something new to learn and a way to partner with your support team. Watch Dan Valentine's 3, 3, and 3 video. I don't think anyone can break it down any better than that on how to start conversations, how to share out on public, or not share on Facebook or social media, whatever platform you use. But this isn't like some Facebook algorithm game. This is actually real connection. So don't forget about the real life. Don't forget about the real life media, not just the social, the online media. And if you're looking at your business this week, start 2 clients. Many people don't think about even starting clients or even waking up on their business until about the 15th of the month. The people that do this the best change lives all month. So anyways, that's what we got.
Brad, can I say something real quick?
You can always say something.
I'm sorry, I'm interrupting.
No, you're good.
Okay. I just want to throw something in here before we leave because my life has been dramatically changed in the last, 2 months, but in the last week, really. And I, last month, had the lowest frontline volume I've had in I don't even know how long. And I just, the structure is, what this is all about. And I knew that the structure was going to be here for me when I could jump in again. And I seriously didn't completely disconnect at all, but I knew that I had to step back and just give myself that grace for a couple of weeks and get done what I needed to get done. And Optavia has provided the opportunity in my life financially, the freedom so that my boyfriend, Tomas, and I could do what we have wanted to do for years, really kind of ever since we've met. And so we've moved to, temporarily, we call ourselves Sunbirds, but we've moved to Mexico. And I'm running my business from Mazatlan. And we're going to be here for 6 weeks, go home for a couple of weeks for Christmas, come back and go to another area for until May. And knowing that I've got this to get onto, I have been running my business. I did all my client check-ins. Luckily, I have Verizon and I have great connection with the telephone and I got great internet. And that was like a priority for both of us. We had to come and we had to have that. And I've been doing 3-way calls and I've been doing, everything and just really getting myself back into it because I kind of let it slide for a little bit. But, when you know you have the support you're going to have, that there's always a structure here, which I'll vouch for that beginning. There was no structure. There was no trainings like this. We have got the most amazing support from our leaders and you guys just, love on us constantly. And I appreciate it so much because I know it's there. I know I have it to come back to. So I'm getting that frontline volume back up. I'm going to be back in that 10,000 group, for the last 2 months, I haven't been there and it's really kind of disappointing when that's like always been your, one of your foundations. So anyway, I just thank you so much. And I'm excited to totally grow my business now and more from where it was, get back to where I was and beyond. So that's what I wanted to say.
Cindy, I'm glad you jumped on and shared that. I think that ties the whole essence of everything, which is funny because your volume didn't drop that low. But, I know you desire to be run at high levels. So it's not like your business was gone. It's just like, oh, life happened. I just really want to point out you did lead on structure because back to the point of the consistency and why we talk about structure so much at the beginning of this before we get into a lot of the content is something's going to happen to you at some point, just like your health. So if you don't have a structure, just like the gift we give people with our health program, something's going to rock your world at some point and throw you down a rabbit hole. And when you have structure to come back to, when you lean on it, you can always move forward. And so, yeah, we talk about all the growth, but we can't always talk about everything. Sometimes it's not always your best month. And sometimes the win is staying consistent because you're going to have your best month after that. So anyways, I thought that was probably, Cindy, thanks for jumping in. That's the best way we could have possibly ended up today. You guys, the chat absolutely blew my mind this morning. Thank you guys for just being our family and part of our community and just being that inspiration to each one of us and what you're doing out there. Go have a great week. Go have a great weekend. Make connections. Practice that this week. Training on sponsoring this week will be fantastic if that's where you are in your business. But we'll see you guys next Saturday and really focus on continuing connections, bringing it to the phone, how to do a great share. So the goal this week, start 2 clients wherever you're at if you're moving to that executive director mark, and keep the pulse moving on your business, learning and growing. That's what I got for you guys. Thanks for everyone that shared. Have an awesome week. Talk to you guys later.
Thanks, Brad. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, guys. It was awesome.
Thank you so